Once I learned that fact that some people out there actually love what they do, regardless to the pay, even if they get paid just enough just to buy food and that's it, they're happy doing it. I wanted to know what that's like.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Living Boldly with Purpose podcast. And I'm Dr. B. I'm your host today. I get so excited to be able to have these conversations. Mario and I were just talking, and one of the things I love to do is be on other folks' podcasts because I get to talk about me and all the things that I'm doing. And those tend to be about, hey, Brian, what's Brian doing now, or what's Brian getting done, or what's Dr. B going to do, and what is he excited about? But what I love more than anything is being able to talk to other folks and being able to find out what it is that makes our lives exciting. What does it make that when you show up in a room that makes people want to gravitate towards you, want to know your story, want to know what you got going, because they want to be part of a life that is good. And Mario, I don't know, as I think people, and success leaves clues, you want to follow somebody who's going somewhere, or you want to be part of things that are doing something. And then sometimes you think things that aren't, you go like, I don't want no part of that. I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be, when they're negative and they got the faces that you don't want to be a part. You'll cross the street, walk the other way, come back the other way when you don't. But when you meet somebody who is charged up about life, you meet somebody who wants to make things happen. You do something, you meet people who want to serve others in a way that allows the other person's life to just become better. You want to be around those people. When you think of like fundraising activities, and people call me all the time and want me to donate money and give money to this cause or that cause. And sometimes I do that and I'm going, wait a minute, I don't feel any energy with your company. I don't feel anything because you haven't done anything that makes me want to think that you're a leader or your organization is something that I want to latch on to because I think it's going to make a difference in life. And, today we get to talk to Mario. And we were just talking before we got started that he has figured out the something that he can't wait to do every day when he gets up. And I tell you what, I want to be around a person who does that. I want to be around a person who doesn't go to bed thinking, when is morning coming? I can't wait. I want to be around a person who says, I can't wait for morning to come. I wish there were more hours in the day because then I could get the sleep that I actually need because I can't take advantage of it. The problem is if there were more hours in the day, we would probably just do more with those hours and still not sleep. And so that's really cool. So I've asked Mario to tell his story, where he comes from, all about him, and then we're going to chop it up with what we call the it. And all right, so Mario, go ahead and take it off. Tell us who you are. Can't wait to hear it.
Well, my name is Mario Halimwisa, and to be very frank and upfront, I am not the biggest fan of like talking about myself, but I need to try to do that because people really find stories are entertaining, and this is one of the best ways that we actually learn through
Mhm.
stories, sharing stories, telling each other stories. So my story, and I'll try and keep it concise and to the point that I was born and raised in Cairo, Egypt. That's in North Africa, in the Middle East, in the early 80s. The environment that I grew up in and the culture and the society, like every other human being, shaped my childhood. And as I was being shaped and growing up as a teenager in the US and even younger, even like 10 years old, I've always thought that something was missing. Something was amiss. I witnessed and I paid attention to the dynamics of communication amongst my family, my friends in school, at the gym. I used to practice karate when I was a teenager, and I've always felt like something was missing, really. And I have been on this journey of figuring out what is missing, why I felt something was missing, because how people around me were dealing with conflict, misunderstanding,
Mhm.
uh, not be able to listen to one another. It's all about like speaking, and whoever yells the loudest will have the
Mhm.
higher position in the communication, have the upper hand, as we like to say. And I just did not feel like that was the right way. So I had the privilege to come to the US 25 years ago in the year 2000 to simply learn and practice English. In fact, during my interview at the American Embassy in Egypt, they asked me, "Why do you want to go to the US?" And literally, the sentence was, "It is my dream to speak English." Now, why was I like seeking that? The ability to speak the language and use the language, because two of my siblings were going to American Embassy.
Okay.
Sorry, American College. Sorry, American College in Egypt. And also, my family used to play on the TV American movies, English movies, pretty much on daily basis, and I'm really attracted to that to from young age.
What language do they speak in Egypt?
Egyptian Arabic.
Egyptian Arabic. Okay,
Arabic.
with a kind of a dialect of Arabic, but
It's a different, yeah, different kind of Arabic.
well,
Absolutely, yeah.
well, I can say it worked. Whatever, so we'll keep with your story, but your English is amazing, so
Ah,
it
yes,
worked. Whatever it is you did to do it, so
you're
that's cool.
you're so kind. Yeah, that's actually really true. But in a way, 5 years after I moved to the U.S., I was recruited by the U.S. Navy. So I served in the military, 4 years active, 4 years reserve. That was another culture shock. I mean, coming to the U.S., especially Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville, as we
Oh,
call
you
it.
went to the country, you went to the South. Oh my gosh.
I
How
know.
come you pick Tennessee out of you got the big 50 states and you go to Tennessee? How does that happen?
Because so my brother came to
Uh,
the US before I did,
okay.
2 years, and he was studying English as well. And he actually went to Florida, then New York, and he resided in Nashville, Tennessee for some time. And when I came, that's where he was.
Yeah.
Obviously, my family will receive me here. My brother was only my brother, and this journey has been very interesting. The culture shock, the language, the traditions. I give you a quick, simple example. Kid you not, it's a real story, even though it's like 25 years ago. 1 week after I arrived to the US, my brother and I went to grocery shopping. And I remember the store's name, Aldi, which does not exist in Seattle, only on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Aldi, yeah. And I remember the cashier lady simply looked at me and she asked me like, "Hey, what's up?" And obviously I'm new. What did I do? I literally looked up in the sky, looked up at the ceiling to see what is up, because that's what is up
Oh, she said,
means
"What's
in
up?" Okay.
translation.
I love
You
it.
know, just to show you like the I don't know, my level of understanding at the time. Obviously, my brother tapped me on the shoulder, explained to me, and we kind of like chuckled about that. This is just a simple example of
Yeah.
the things that I've gone through as transitioning to live in the US. Fast forward in 17 years between the year 2000 and 2017, I have worked in 12 different jobs, different positions, served in the military, as I mentioned. I have my own business. I worked in three different corporations: NCR, Expedia, Bank of America. I worked in restaurants before. I did so many things. And in 2017, basically was an early midlife crisis. What does that mean? Basically, half of my life at the time, half of my life I had spent in the US, and the previous half was in Egypt. Am I Egyptian? Am I American? Who am I? What's the purpose of all those jobs I've had? And I was like, I was financially stable. I was trading the stock market. Money is not a problem for me. I was driving Lexus, but still, my heart was not full. My pocket was full, but my heart was not full. So I wanted to know what that means. And throughout the entire process, I am researching life, researching what is really important, which is communication became it for me. And I will dive into this later. So in 2017, I truly give away everything that I had except a backpack and I took off and I went to Asia.
Wait,
Specifically,
wait. You just said so. I'm stopping you because you can't just
sure,
say I
please.
gave away everything and just with a backpack. You're doing really well. You know how to make money. You have money back. You work for the Navy, so I'm sure they wanted you to be an asset at one point because I guess going. And then you say, wait a minute, I don't know who I am. I'm going to give away. Did you give it to your family or just strangers on the street?
So to be clear, first I left active duty from the Navy in
Okay.
2009. All right,
Okay,
and
so it's
in
been a while. It's been 10
yeah,
years.
it's been a while. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's been a while. And in 2017, I actually gave away everything to my friends. I just told them,
Okay.
come and take whatever you want. I think the only one item that I sold was the bed. That's it.
Really?
That's
Okay.
the only because of like a fancy Tempur-Pedic bed. That's the only thing I sold,
Okay.
and everything else was just like giveaway except a backpack. So to give you an idea, why did I do that? Doing my own research that started about 20 years ago was the best idea I have ever had in my life. Research life, research the path I'm taking, where I have been, where I stand, and where I'm going. And from my research at the point of actually 2015, I know I'm going to confuse you with the dates, but in 2015, from my research, I realized that whatever we do in life, I interviewed hundreds of people and I was able to categorize four reasons why people do what they do. What I mean by why they do what they do, I mean career wise, relationship wise, how they handle money, how they go about life choices, and so forth. The four categories are number one, people simply just want to put food on the table. They just want to go from one day to
Okay.
another. They want to survive. They want to take care of necessities and go on that way, day by day, week by week. A second category, some people are doing what they are doing because they are simply following their parents' steps. Mom was a lawyer, now I'm a lawyer. My dad was a doctor, now I'm a doctor, or it's like a business, I'm taking over the business. The third category is when I ask people, like, why do you do what you do? They absolutely are clueless. They have no idea.
I have no idea. I love
They
it.
have not had the chance to reflect on that.
They're
Obviously, it's
just
kind of
surviving.
comical.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, yeah. And the fourth category is the reason why I give away everything and I decided to take off to Asia. The fourth group was people who enjoy what they're doing regardless to the income. In fact, I remember one of my interviewees, he said he loved what he does and his income is stable and he does really good. Yet he said he loves what he does so much that he's willing to live on the street and live in a cardboard box because he
Really.
loved what he see your reaction. That's exactly how I reacted. That is beyond passion. That's like finding your it.
I got to know what he's doing that he'd be willing to live on the street and do it. Well, okay.
Well, he was basically programmer working computers, and he
Okay.
loved doing this from really young age, and he
Okay.
always played with it. He enjoyed doing that for a long time, and the thing is, uh, it is a very common thread amongst people who feel content and happy about life.
Hmm.
They love what they do. Yes, they struggle at the beginning. The beginning could be 2 months, 2 years, 5 years. They struggle, but once they cross that barrier, they enjoy what they do and money comes their way because they are so good at what they're doing. People are paying them more than what they're asking for. So once I learned this, I'm like, okay, I don't think I've had a job that I was super passionate about, except the military, where I served for 4 years active. I changed jobs every a year or two.
Okay.
I reach a plateau of like growth or what do you call it, promotion, and
Okay.
I'm like, I get to the point like I'm done. I feel like I need more experiences, what you can call the experience junkie. Okay, I
Okay.
wanted to experience everything and anything. So once I learned that fact that some people out there actually love what they do regardless to the pay, even if they get paid just enough just to buy food and that's it, they're happy doing it. I
Hmm.
wanted to know what that's like. And I took some time to reflect on that for 2 years because I found this information in 2015. So it took me a couple of years to reflect on that information. And I realized that my passion at the time, I really was interested in yoga practice
Okay.
while I am doing my communication research. So I packed everything. I packed my backpack, give away everything, and I took off to India to pursue yoga and meditation. The plan was to go and come back in 3 months. And I don't know why I give away everything. I swear to you, universe have its own plan. I kid you not.
Yeah, because I'm like, if you're coming back in 3 months to give away everything, did you still have a bank account though, so you could come back and buy everything back? I mean,
Yes, yes, that was there. Yeah, that was no problem. That was there.
okay, good then. Okay,
I
we're
guess
not getting everything, so I love it.
yeah, looking back, it's more like I feel like I wanted a fresh start. And I
Yeah,
thought this fresh start will be like 3 months when I come back. We can always start over. We
of
can
course. Yeah,
always
yeah,
start over.
yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is, Dr. Brian, that those 3 months turn into 5 years.
Whoa! So you found somebody that was really feeding into your soul in India.
So I did not stay in India for 5 years. I only stayed in India for a year and a half, but I traveled to different multiple countries. I went to Nepal, Sri Lanka. I went to Kathmandu. Sorry, I went to Nepal, Kathmandu. I went to Sri Lanka, Bali, Indonesia, multiple cities in Indonesia. So my trip was just to go there and explore
Uh-huh.
and dive deeper into yoga and meditation. Then a chance welcomed me to teach English to monks, to Hindu monks, Buddhist monks, Thai monks. I
But I
am
thought
teaching
monks
the.
didn't talk.
Say again.
I thought monks didn't talk.
I love that. You, I promise you. Everything that you see on TV and everything you see online is not true. Monks, a lot of monks, just like you and I. They have an iPhone. They have tablet. Some of them are fat. Don't worry, they're just human like us. They're trying.
Yes. Okay.
So
Gotcha.
it was really interesting because this experience of teaching monks English was really humbling. They keep calling me teacher, and I go like, "You don't understand. You are the teacher. No, you're the English teacher." I'm like, "You are the teacher." So this experience was really humbling for me and taught me a lot. So basically, I spent 5 years in Asia between 2017, 2022, and I just came back to Seattle 2 years ago in 2023. And fast forward from the day I moved to the US, the year 2000, until today, 25 years ago. Um, at this point, I have published 3 books in the last 2 years. I'm working on my fourth book. And coming up in April this year, I'll be traveling North Africa and the Middle East for 4 months, engaged in public speaking events and book signing events. And I'll be keynote speaker for some events, and that's what I do now.
Cool. So what are you speaking on when you go keynote speakers? Or are you speaking on all the stuff you learned for those 5 years that you were traveling, or what is it that you talk about?
My research that I have been doing for over a decade and a half, and this research is about communication.
All right.
I not only believe, I know as a fact, communication for me personally is like air. It's everywhere.
Yes.
The understanding of what communication is and the impact it has on us and the influence that I see that it impacted me and other people, this message needs to be out and people need to learn about this. So as I'm doing my research, I found out how many college graduates who have not taken one communication class during their entire education. And I find that communication is so valuable. As I said, communication is like air.
It
And
is.
I'm happy to dive into do this deeper, but I'll give you a chance to ask me questions to direct the conversation.
Oh my gosh. So people graduate. When I think of, like, levels of value, right? And what people need to do to be successful. And hope you can feed into this. I was a communication major, so this is
Awesome.
this is a great.
Oh, this is great.
um, but when I think of values level, like I think of like the lowest value level is just you just use your body to go slave it out, make money, do whatever you can. You probably don't have a lot of education, but you use everything about your body to create income, to create your life.
Hmm.
Um, then and you can't make a lot of money, maybe $80,000 to $120,000 a year if you're lucky and you're doing something like a mechanic or something that works on a high end, one of your Lexuses or something. Then I think of the second level of value is you become a manager. You're able to now have somebody work under you, so you've duplicated your own efforts by having all these other people. And you have to start beginning communication skills to be able to do that. But you're still limited. If you're the best manager in the world, you're working at a tech company making $250,000 a year, but they kind of own you. They they tell you what you can do. Where true value comes in is your ability to communicate. That's the third value. If you can know how to communicate, how to create relationships, how to make sure that communication is happening, back and forth, you can make your stealing is unlimited because you know how to relate to people. And then the fourth level is just like your imagination and to be able to, but even to have your imagination and come up with an idea like Tesla or whatever, that Elon has been able to come up with. He still has to be able to communicate. You can't do anything without being incredible at communication. And whether it's nonverbal, verbal, we are built for relationship, and you can't have relationship without communication. So I can't wait to hear how you process it and what you have to give me that's going to make me even a better communicator. So take it away.
I'm actually really excited to ask you a question that I really like to start this topic with. But
Okay.
before I ask you the question, when we learn new skills and tools, and they tell you these new skills and tools open so many doors,
Mhm.
right? I see communications that not only it opens doors, it creates the door for you.
Yes.
That's how powerful communication is. Now, if I when I do my workshop and I have 25, 30 people in that class, and I ask each and every single person what is communication, I get 25 to 30 different answers, and none of them is wrong. Everyone is right.
Yes.
Now, with so much respect that your major was actually communication, do you mind if I ask you how do you see it? There's no
Yeah,
wrong answer.
yeah, I can have a wrong answer. Nobody else can, right? Oh, I love it. No, what I see is communication is our ability to relate to others anywhere in the world, wherever culture you're from, whatever you're at. If you have the ability to relate to another human being, then
Hmm,
that's communications.
I love it.
Whether it starts with, like I said, nonverbal, and we don't have language that we can share yet, but there's something because we're human that allows us to relate to each other. Now, if I have to point to water and go like this, like I'm thirsty, and then you understand it and receive it and give me the water or show me where the water's at, we have now been in that process of communication. And
I
I
love
guess we can communicate with ourselves because I think we can think we think I don't think we can think without words, or we can't think without communicating to ourselves. I don't know if that's possible because what is there if you can't? I mean, you can express yourself in different ways, but I don't know if you can think and become a higher life form without even communicating with your own brain, or your own brain talk to me because I probably got it wrong, right?
Oh, come on. I just told you there's no way you can get it wrong. I love that you said that. And if you see me moving a little bit because I'm super excited about the topic, I get
Right.
super excited that I cannot contain myself. That's why I like to be on stage, pacing back and forth, talking to people.
Love it.
Okay. So the topic, the ideas, the concept get me so invigorated, exuberant, excited. I love the topic. Now, in a humble way, I would like to share with you a privilege of being a researcher
Uh-huh.
that you eventually get to the point where you coin your own definitions and meanings for topics based on your depth of understanding and your experiences.
Okay.
With that being said, if you would allow me to share with you my own coin definition that you cannot find it anywhere else. That's my own coin definition of what communication is.
As long as I
And
can steal it and use it.
I welcome anyone and everyone to use it. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
So, so the way I see communication, it is a non-stop process that is voluntary and involuntary process of exchanging information, knowledge, and vibration. It is a non-stop, voluntary and involuntary process of exchanging information. It's happening non-stop, whether we choose to or not. And that makes the clear distinction between communicating intentionally and mindfully or communicating mindlessly and on autopilot, as we say.
Mhm.
Now, I like that you mentioned how we communicate with ourselves because this is the least known form of communication. And this actually more than 50% of my work. So most of us, obviously, this is, I mean, I almost feel unfortunate that we have to like limit our time on that session because the next one I have up because learning that your communication major, maybe we can do another session in the
Yes,
future
we will
together.
come back. We will do it for sure. We will.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop right here. We will.
So the most common type of communication that I'm very certain you know of, but some listeners may not be familiar with, is interpersonal, what you and I are having right now, even though it's also digital communication, but it's also interpersonal, 101. The second popular type of communication is group communication, and that basically three people or more, three people to hundreds, thousands, millions. And the bigger the number it gets, the more it becomes organizational communication, strategic communication, hierarchy communication. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Now, the one type of communication which you mentioned, like how we converse with ourselves, it's called intra-personal communication. That's how we converse with ourselves. I realized that this is such an important topic, such an important idea to be aware of because it is the bedrock of all other communications and it impacts and influences all our relationships. Basically, the relationship with ourselves, what we tell ourselves 24/7, and the maybe interpersonal communication. Once we finish this session, or we if we meet, go for a coffee for an hour or two, we stop talking, but okay, that's the end of interpersonal communication until we meet again. Intra is a non-stop,
Wow.
24/7. When I say 24/7, even our sleep,
Yeah, we
in
dream.
terms of dreams, yes
Yeah.
sir, absolutely. So
Yeah.
I'll pause here and give you a chance to direct it.
No, no, keep going, because this is so we got intra and intra personal. You're 50 more than 50% of your work is on how we self talk or how we. Yeah. So go on.
How we converse with ourselves. It is
Yeah.
simple as when we first wake up. In fact, you know what? I'm going to take something that you mentioned a few minutes ago. At the end of the day, what do we tell ourselves? Are we looking forward to tomorrow, or we go like, "Oh man, tomorrow's another day"? What
Depends
are
on the
we?
week. Depends on the day of the week, right?
It's now imagine. I love that you say this, Dr. Brian. Honestly, I love it because what if I was to tell you I don't have weekends?
I don't either. I don't either. But I
I
know how people think, right? I know. I,
like
yeah.
I only know the calendar just to make things happen, but to, it's like you're always engaged and you're always creating things, but also in the meantime, you're always relaxed in a state of flow. Like I'm not necessarily, yeah, I'm looking towards the evening when I just relax, take my cool shower and like watch something funny and like go to sleep maybe in the evening, that's fine. But throughout the day when we love what we do is very important. So again, to go back to what you were saying, if someone day in and day out every night they keep telling themselves, tomorrow's another day, tomorrow another day, I'm glad today is over. Well, we need to be aware of this voice because the more it keeps repeating itself, the more it manifests itself. if we become aware of this voice and manage it intentionally, and instead of my telling myself, oh, thank God the day is over, oh no, tomorrow's gonna start, what if I was to change this to something like, okay, maybe today did not go according to my plans, and maybe some things that I don't like to do tomorrow, what can I start doing right now to change and alter my future? Part of me is not happy with how things are going. Am I going to keep talking about it, complaining it, and it's like a broken record on and on and on? That's subconscious behavior. Or become conscious and aware of that and tell myself, I feel like something is off. I may not be happy or content with how things are. I would like to find out how to make things better. This is a real conversation that we can have with ourselves. You know what? I'll tell you right now, and I'll keep spreading the word around the globe. Talking to ourselves in the mirror is one of the most powerful tools that we can use. In some cultures, some people might think this is crazy, whatever. I'll tell you what, I know what works based on evidence.
Hmm.
The thing is, when we ask someone what is the most important relationship in your life, some people might say, oh, my mom, my dad, my wife, my kids, my
Hmm.
oldest friend from high school. But are you aware of your relationship with yourself?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know that, I can tell. But many people actually, when I ask, when I interview people, people actually not aware they are in relationship with yourself. What does that mean? For some people, it's a big revelation. They don't know what to do with this information.
Well, yeah, because they don't realize how much time they spend with themselves, and you're the only person that spends as much time with you as you, and you can't be effective to others until you can be effective with yourself, right? You really can't serve others, or you try and you fail miserably if you don't have the tools within yourself. And that's what, to me, that's why personal development is everything. And I'm jealous because you were able to go spend 5 years of your life figuring this out. Right? We struggle over here trying to, the things that we say to ourselves that we destroy ourselves with on a daily
Mhm.
basis. And the way that if we talk to others the way we talk to ourselves sometimes. And I'm super curious to hear
Mhm.
how you think social media interacts with this, with us trying to have lives that are not real, because we compare ourselves, right? We're not human beings, we do that, but we're comparing ourselves with people's best lives or whatever they want to say or not say on the internet. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna let you go again because I'll go crazy on this. We're definitely having another session though. We're
We're
going to get to that point, right?
definitely, definitely. Um, I did not learn about this like relationship with myself. I did not learn this from my parents,
Mhm.
not for my family. I learned this from my research in communication, and also I'm also into yoga and meditation. So those two pillars that I really build my life on is yoga and communication. They go hand in hand. And when you bring up social media, that's actually a very important topic because this is the present, the future, and that's the projection of how things will go. How technology is happening right now and how it's evolving, it actually makes the interpersonal and intrapersonal communication even more important. So for me, the way I see digital communication and social media and online usage, it's for efficiency and connections to be more productive collectively. We're actually producing a lot more collectively that way. We're creating more wealth, more value for humanity in general. Some people may not see it that way. No problem. We all have different point of views. The second thing that I want to mention is because I was actually asked that something similar on a different podcast that with all this negativity and comments, there are things online. Let's say you put something video online, I don't like it, and I make a comment that's kind of cruel or harsh. Well, guess what? Most of these comments and communication that people post online, they actually do not dare to do this in person.
No, you'll never say the things that you say online to somebody to their face. You won't do it. Oh
Well,
man.
I'll be honest with you.
Uh,
This is the disheartening part.
yeah.
Here's the disheartening part. The disheartening, and that makes my heart really kind of heavy when I bring this up.
Mhm.
Um, the reason why we can say something mean online, uh, typing on the phone or computer, when we are by ourselves, because that's actually how we treat ourselves.
Oh, I never thought of it that way. Wow. And when we think of hurting people, and if you were hurting yourself, you're willing to, oh my gosh, wow, that's serious. Yeah.
Hence, I find
Mm.
compassion, empathy, and being kind beyond necessary is really important because I can tell you from my own personal experience with me personally and my other relationships that people who make such unhealthy comments or online, these people actually need a lot more compassion. And what I mean by that is one of my favorite quotes that I heard a while ago and really stuck with me. I cannot remember who said it, to be honest. It says, people who do not love themselves, we need to keep loving them until they learn to love themselves.
Yeah.
Uh, I will keep loving them and communicate with them in a healthy and positive and empowering and inspiring way until they learn how to do that for themselves. Because we are basically a sum of our environment. Our environment shaped us. Do you think like I give you a quick example? I was born in Egypt. My first language is Egyptian Arabic. It's not my first language now, it's my second language. Now, English is actually my first language. I dream in English, I speak in English. Even when I publish my books, I publish them in English, and I had to hire someone to translate them to Egyptian Arabic.
Really? Oh my gosh.
So, being in the US, immersed in this culture with my friends and coworkers and everything is in
Uh,
English that formed my brain, reprogrammed my own brain. And that could happen to every single person. Mindset could be altered with time, with patience and love.
and it's so unique that you say that I'm sure you can do conversational, Egyptian Arabic, but at the same time that we are so able to adapt to our environment and to things, and if people realize that, half the battle of changing their circumstances is not believing that that can happen. And language is one of the most of those fundamental things that we have. And if that can be altered, you can't tell me everything else can't be. Feelings and everything else. Oh my gosh, this is good. All right, keep going.
So,
This
to
is so good.
really to be aware that in a way our brain is like a computer hard drive that's been programmed, and if someone if someone is like kind of mean or nasty or something to someone, I actually look down at the floor and I just kind of feel sad a little bit for them, because
Mhm.
most people, I guarantee you, there isn't someone out there who's like angry or have unhealthy communication that they use with other people, and they are super kind to themselves and compassionate nope, nope. Universe is a mirror of what's inside our heart. People who are kind, patient, and compassionate with themselves, that's what they can offer. People who are like
Yeah.
angry, have resentment, that's what they're going to offer. Basically, to be clear, we cannot sell from an empty wagon. And also, something really crucial that I like to bring up, um, when we realize, and this is really big part of my research, when we realize that most anger that people have comes from simply fear.
Hmm. Yeah.
It
Fear
comes
or
from fear.
anxiety, whichever. Yeah. Fear is
Fear
real
is
and
not
present danger, right? And anxiety is the fear that of what could happen. And I could see that most of it comes from that. Absolutely.
fear. It
Wow.
did not go my way. It's not going to go my way. You did not do what I expect. Or I can even be angry at myself because I'm afraid that I did not live up to my expectations, like being late for an appointment. Or instead of saying, you know what, one door closes, 100 other open, or, that happened for a reason. Or maybe honestly, I'm going to plug this in. Let's remember September 11th. How many people did not get on the flight? And look what happened. Missing a flight, missing a meeting, missing an appointment, missing a step, whatever it is, there is a reason behind it. So when someone tells themselves universe is taking care of me, I'm going to go with the flow. I am protected and I will always do my best and my best will get better with time. Wow.
Hmm. How this is so important, and we're talking about how we speak to ourselves. How do we begin the process when we have years and years and years of speaking to ourselves in a certain way to break that chain? It has to start somewhere. I can't imagine. I mean, and we have to realize it's not going to happen overnight. You've been telling yourself this for 37 years, however old you are, you know.
42 to be clear.
There we go. That's what I said 37 because I think that's what I am. Even though I was a child in the 80s as well. Or I guess I graduated high school in the 80s. But yeah, how do we begin this? Because it's so vitally important. And I know you get up on stage and you expound this and you tell people, but at what level can we truly make a difference in how people talk to themselves? Because if we can improve that, right, then that means that changes the way they talk to others. It changes, like you said, the way that we respond online. It's the way we respond when we're forced with emotion. All that changes when we love ourselves and we can talk to ourselves in a certain way. So how do we begin this process?
So, for that, there are actually three keys, not three steps. There's no ABC, there's no one, two, three, just three keys. So, it's up to you to use the three keys or to use one of the keys, to use two keys, however you want to go about it. First one, let's think about this. Uh, when we are toddlers from really young age, the main and primary reason why we go from four limbs to standing up and being erected and walk on two legs as a
Mhm.
child, as children, the primary reason why do we do that? Because everyone else around us is doing it.
And they're encouraging us to
And
do it.
yeah, I love that. Absolutely encouraging us. They're happy every time we try and fail. They're so happy. You tried again. So honestly, it's not a joke when I say monkey see, monkey do. It is
Mhm.
so true. So what I'm trying to get to is key number one: choose our environment and our surroundings very carefully. We need to pick the influence that is happening to us from the outside. Number one, or no, I don't want to say number one, number two, but key number two. Yeah, I don't want to make it steps or anything. So now the influence on the outside is very, very powerful. There's also influence on the inside. When I was introduced to affirmations over like 15 years ago, I'm to be very frank with you, I thought it was a joke.
Mhm.
Positive affirmation. I love myself. Universe always have my back, uh, and so on. Positive affirmation with self. Three, key number three,
But can
spending. Yes.
I just want to go back to key number two because affirmations are part of key number two, right?
Yeah.
Can you
So
talk
number
about
one, influence on the outside.
number two affirmations? And
Inf-
the question I have on affirmations is because I believe 100% in affirmations. I use affirmations. I speak affirmations. But I think the difference for me and other folks is I believe the affirmations that I'm saying, or I believe in their potential of coming true. And I think so many people, when they hear the word affirmations, they say it and they speak it in a way that there's no belief whatsoever that it's even possible. They're just saying it like I don't know, an incantation or something that just says, I believe I'm great. But they say it in a manner, they speak it in a manner. Is there something to that, or you can, as long as you're speaking, your subconscious mind begins to work on those?
In a long run, no matter what you think, it will work with the subconscious mind because that's how we program the mind.
Okay.
Now, very important. If I'm having like a coaching session with someone and they bring up the point that you just brought up right now, the first question I ask, why?
Right.
Why you are not believing it?
Yeah.
Why you are not taking it in? When I tell you that you're an amazing friend, why you are not believing me? When I tell you that your life is going so good and you're gonna do better in the future, and you go like, that's not gonna happen. Why you don't believe me? Let's dive into this. So key number three, which is probably that's why I bring it the last because it's somewhat challenging for a lot of us, is cultivating quality time with ourselves and investigate our feelings and thoughts. I pretty much do this every single morning. I wake up in the morning, hit the gym for like half an hour or so, come back, I make my tea with honey and lemon, light a candle, incense, and I spend the first half an hour to 45 minutes with myself, either mentioning my gratitude for yesterday or congratulate myself for the progress. I'm actually living alone. I'm single. I'm like the best relationship I'm cultivating right now is with myself. I kid you not. And I'm looking in the mirror, I'm having the tea and I compliment myself. And I speak facts, not just illusion. I speak facts. Actually, we all, every single person that survived another 24 hours, survived another hour. They have plenty to be grateful for. One of the things I'm grateful for every morning, thank you for waking me up and giving me another chance. I mean this from my heart.
It, I'm so loving what you're saying because when you say cultivating quality time with yourself, and I think about quality time, right? Because we try to have quality time with others in relationships and to increase relationships, but we all have quality time with ourselves. It's how do we spend that quality time? Because you can't say you're not with yourself all the time. You are there, but there's times you choose, right, what to do at that time. So I have this 10 minutes, or I wake up first thing in the morning. I can go pick up the device and take my quality time and let it get destroyed by now thinking about everything else I got to do in the day. Or I take that extra 10 minutes and then I can use meditation, or I can do, let's say I go do yoga, or I can do things where I'm just thinking. And we have that choice every day, but we haven't been taught, I don't think, to utilize our quality time, right? I mean, we've been told that we got to fill every moment in every space with something, and that's I think how we're, especially in our culture. I don't know how it is in Egypt, but I know in Western United States culture, that's what we're taught is we have to fill every moment.
Kind of can I give you an interesting metaphor with awareness of time and really interesting conversation? um, if someone goes to a job interview, or even, you know what, you already have a job and you're having a conversation with your boss invites you in the office and please sit down and you're having conversation with them. And while your boss is speaking, you pick up the phone and check your messages. Your boss would be like, what are you doing? Right? That's the same thing like spending quality time with yourself. You're spending time with the boss who's telling you what to eat, where to go, how to think, how to react, how to behave, when to take a shower, when to brush your teeth. Your boss is there. You got to spend quality time with the boss. Keep it simple for now. Yeah.
Well, man, Mario, we have to. We're gonna do this soon. We can't because I know you have to go and you have to do another podcast.
Thank you.
Um, but I'm telling you right now, for those of you listening, I'll let you give them a cliffhanger that'll tell them about what we're going to talk about next. But go ahead and hit subscribe and do whatever the YouTube things are that we got to do because this conversation is so pivotal and so vital to the success of your future. And I wish I could say how much it really is because we spend so much time solving problems. We spend so much time doing something that we're told that we have to do, and we don't spend enough time communicating and learning how to communicate it, whether it's with others or communicating with yourselves. And the key here is with yourself because you are the key in the three keys he just gave. You are the key to making your life as incredible as you want, or the same key to your life to making it as miserable as you want. And the,
100%.
and the common denominator in there is you. And so,
I'm sorry. I have to do this. Hold on. I have to do this.
okay.
The common denominator is you. I love that. That was perfect way to wrap this up. Thank you.
So any last thoughts before we will come back? I promise you that. Thank you for being on, Mario. But what are your closing thoughts that will give us a cliffhanger for our next conversation?
You are so powerful, more than you can imagine. You are much more capable than you can imagine. And the farther you go, the higher you go, the more you allow other people to do the same.
Thank you. Thank you for being on today. Thank you for gracing us with your presence today. I can't wait for our next conversation. You guys have an awesome day. I believe you are God's greatest gift. He loves you if you allow him to. And we'll talk to you on the next one. Have a wonderful day.